Welcome back, lords and ladies. It's your boy Jigsaw with another dive into the lore of this amazingly mysterious game we call Elden Ring. With so many people covering this topic, there doesn't seem to be many more answers to be found pending the release of a DLC or a major update. But that being said, I've still not stopped searching. I've still not stopped questioning if maybe a meaning we took from something could possibly mean something different that we didn't notice before. Like how when you watch a movie a few times, you pick up on things you didn't notice when you watched it previously. But today we're going to look at something found all across the lands between, but with very little hard lore, the Golems. This idea was mentioned to me by a turtle, saying they've not really seen anyone talk about these creatures, so let's see what we can find. And by the way, the person's username is literally a turtle. I've not completely lost my mind yet. These massive creatures are found usually guarding the entrance of an area, though a few can be found wandering or sleeping in various locations. And with so little lore not giving much information about the origin of these creatures in Elden Ring, let's step outside and first look at what a golem is historically. And going all the way back into the biblical days and most well known in the Jewish religion, golems are beings made from clay or mud and brought to life through magic, and serving to bring the creator either closer to God or to serve as a helper, a companion, or a defender. Well, the first thing we notice is this all fits in line pretty well with their stone-like appearance and their aggressive, defensive demeanor. So the question remains, who made them? I'll be honest, I'm not really satisfied with any of the answers I've come up with, as there are big questions left with each one, and it's pretty much all just speculation. But let's look at the details. From the Golem's halberd, we learn it is a weapon made by a civilization now gone to ruin. First to come to mind are the giants and the dragons and the beastmen, all of which use fire, so the next thing we look at are the golems we see using magic, carrying magic at that. We know that before they became sorcerers, the astrologers that became the Carrion royal line were friendly with the giants, considering them neighbors. And following that up, the most we see of the golems is in the mountaintops of the giants, where several can be found to fight, and piles of the remains of destroyed golems are scattered around as if they took part in a major battle in the area. My first assumption was that the golems were originally creations of the giants. Golems through history have been referred to as kiln-born slaves. Imagine the kiln you would need to craft creatures of that size, something seemingly fitting for a fire giant with a giant fiery forge. And it seems at their base they are infused with and brought to life with fire magic. Stepping outside the box again, looking back at the golem's halberd, it's made of black stone. While nowhere is it referenced as obsidian, it could be looked at as such, and could be something easily obtained by fire giants. Why is this interesting? Obsidian has the capability of being one of the sharpest items on the planet. It is 3 times sharper than diamond and between 500 to 1,000 times sharper than a razor or a surgeon's steel scalpel. And sharpness would be something very useful in a war against something like, say, dragons. While yes, obsidian is extremely brittle, we have to remember this is fantasy, and we look at George R.R. Martin, who had part in the creation of the Elden Ring world. He used obsidian as a special weapon called dragon glass in Game of Thrones, and in an interview, he made a statement about it saying, "I've given it magical characteristics that of course real obsidian doesn't necessarily have. After all, we live in a world that has no magic. My world does have magic, so it's a little bit different." But further searching has still led to only more questions. Like I said, at first I thought maybe the fire giants had originated them, passing them along to the sorcerers who infused them with magic. But then details, like again on the golem's halberd, stating it was crafted by a civilization now gone to ruin. The fact that many of the golems can be found near ruins that have fallen from the sky, around ruined fragments, which are also found as drops from the beastmen of crumbling Far Missoula, a ruin in itself. So here we have them related to Farm, but never find any there. I'd also like to point out the golem's halberd being made of black stone, and the weapons of the beastmen being made of dull black metal, as well as Malekith's black blade that resembles stone itself. They could all be closely related. But do I think the beastmen created the golems? No. Only the halberd mentions being crafted by a civilization in ruin, so they may have crafted this weapon, but I think the sorcerers originated the golems, a way to protect themselves from the larger giants. And I think the reason we find golems at the ruins but not in Far Missoula is because they were attacking it and were just blasted away along with chunks of the ruin. Now, these golems being sided with the sorcerers, therefore by extension America, in the war with the giants, would explain why some are still roaming that area rather than having been destroyed in the war, as we know only one fire giant was left alive. It could then be that the beastmen helped in the creation of weapons for the golems, maybe with the help of the dragons due to their size? I don't know. Again, all speculation. But this is made more plausible with many carvings of sorcerers and even a witch carrying a child being found on the walls throughout Far Missoula, showing some sort of relation. And something else to look at is the crystal dart that on the description mentions long ago it is said that a golem crafter employed a similar crystal tool. The crystals we know are heavily related to sorcery, and knowing how these crystal darts affect imps and watchdogs, making them attack each other, we do a little test and find out that yes indeed, the darts will affect the golems in the same way and cause them to frenzy and attack everything in the area. This tells me that indeed these are creatures of sorcery, and from that description we can assume that the crafter used something similar, possibly as the source of animation, and it could be an overloading of the magic that causes them to short circuit and frenzy. The creation by the sorcerers and their alliance with others across the lands could be why so many could be found throughout different areas. They could have been gifts. Like I said, there isn't a lot of hard lore, and I could make other points for different origins, but to me, so far, this is the most likely scenario, or the most likely origin of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If I missed anything important, please tell me, because I do really try to get the most accurate information I can to piece together these puzzles, and sometimes my mind just takes leaps over important things. But on that note, it's been your boy Jigsaw. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Y'all stay beautiful.